These are three of Samurai Jack's saddest episodes of all time, the third one being The Tales of X9. The episode Tale of X9 starts with a rainy night in a city filled with shadows. In a quiet alley, a robot named X49 sits in his car, watching the rain trickle down. He slips a CD into the radio, and a sad trumpet song fills the air. As he listens, he starts talking about his life and his feelings, which is strange for a robot. He explains that he was created to serve AKU, the evil ruler, but he was different from other robots. He wasn't just made to fight, he could also feel emotions. X49 tells the viewers how he was once part of Aku's X-series robots, designed as powerful assassins to hunt down Aku's enemies. These robots were given dark coats, hats, and sharp suits, making them look mysterious and dangerous. Their mission was simple: find and destroy anyone who stood against AKU. While most of the X-series robots were built without feelings, X49 was different. His creator had designed him with the ability to feel, understand, and even care. Over time, X49 started to feel things no other robot did, such as right and wrong. He began questioning if his actions were truly just, feeling that what the X-series robots did was wrong. During his missions, X49 was cautious and smart, which kept him safe while other X-series robots were destroyed one by one. As the last of his kind, he was left feeling lonely and confused. Then, something amazing happened. One day, X49 met a small pug dog named Lulu. She had a big smile and a funny heart-shaped tongue, unlike anything X49 had ever seen. He was so moved by her that he took her with him. Lulu became his best friend, and together they spent many peaceful days. He felt happy and loved whenever he was with her. As time went by, X49 retired from fighting and focused on his life with Lulu. AKU, meanwhile, created new robots called Beetle drones to take over the work of X-series robots. X49 didn't mind Aku's new plans. He was happy with his own quiet life. He and Lulu would listen to music together, especially the trumpet tune X49 loved to play. Life was simple and peaceful, and X49 thought it would stay that way forever. But one day, Lulu disappeared. X49 was heartbroken and searched everywhere for her, desperate to find his only friend. Eventually, he learned that Aku's forces had taken Lulu as a way to bring X49 back into action. AQ wanted him to fight again and kill Samurai Jack, the heroic samurai who constantly tried to free the world from Aku's grip. For Lulu's sake, X49 had no choice. He put on his best suit, grabbed his weapons, and prepared for one last mission. The story shifts back to the rainy alley, where X49 sits in his car, looking at an old factory where he believes Samurai Jack is hiding. He takes a deep breath, steps out of the car, and walks into the dark, abandoned building. He moves carefully, listening for any sound, his gun ready. Suddenly, he spots a campfire and a shadow that looks like Samurai Jack. As he approaches, he accidentally steps on a metal bolt, which rolls across the floor, making a loud noise. The samurai notices the sound and quickly hides, while X49 starts shooting, determined to find his target. His bullets echo through the factory, hitting walls, floors, and anything in the way. The sound of his gunfire wakes the assembly lines in the factory, and machines start whirring to life, adding to the noise and chaos. As X49 searches, steam fills the factory, making it hard to see. The mist from the steam clings to X49, covering him and his gun like sweat. His emotions are strong. He's both determined and sad, longing for Lulu but forced to do something he no longer believes in. Suddenly, through the steam, he sees a tall shape. He aims carefully and fires. The figure falls, leaking a dark fluid. But as X49 gets closer, he realizes it's just an old robot from his X-series days, lying broken on the floor. At that moment, X49 senses someone behind him. There's a flash of metal as Samurai Jack strikes, and X49 falls to the ground. Defeated, he lies there, knowing he's lost. But his last thoughts aren't of the battle or his defeat. He whispers, "Take care of Lulu," his voice soft and full of love. Then, with a quiet hum, he shuts down forever. Jack pauses, looking at X-49 with sadness, realizing this robot wasn't like the others. X-49 had cared deeply about Lulu and had fought only to save her. In the final moments of the episode, we see Lulu's picture resting on the seat of X-49's car, a reminder of the robot's deep love and the life he had tried to protect. The scene fades out, leaving a feeling of sorrow and compassion for a robot who was more human than machine. Next up, we have the episode Jack and the Haunted House. One dark night, while journeying alone, Jack encounters a young girl crying. She quickly runs away, dropping her teddy bear. Jack picks it up and follows her to an eerie, rundown house with a Japanese style. Instead of going through the main entrance, he takes a side door, noticing a shadowy figure of a woman sitting by a fire through a doorway. When he tries to open the door, a swarm of moths suddenly flies past, startling him, and the woman and fire vanish, leaving Jack feeling uneasy. Inside the house, Jack feels a strange, haunted presence. As he explores, he has brief visions of the family who once lived there, showing glimpses of their lives and an evil force that attacked them. Jack finds objects, like a model ship the family's son was building, which trigger more flashbacks of the family's struggles against the dark force. Each room is abandoned and decayed, giving the house a creepy, horror movie vibe, with unsettling sounds and shadows that keep Jack on edge. As he searches, Jack finally finds the girl. He suggests they leave together, but when they reach the room where he entered, they're shocked to see that the doors and windows have vanished, trapping them inside. Both feel unusually tired and decide to stay and rest. Jack's sleep is filled with disturbing visions of the dark creature attacking the family members, which gives him a deep sense of dread. When Jack wakes up, he finds that the girl has disappeared again. As he searches for her, he hears soft music and notices a doorway leading to a well-lit room. Entering, he finds the girl sitting with her family, a mother, father, and brother, around a table, all seemingly happy and safe. Suspicious, Jack questions the scene, shouting that it must be an illusion, and draws his sword. The father tries to calm him and invites him to sit and have tea, mentioning that it's from a region Jack knows well. This conversation distracts Jack, but he notices that the young girl seems nervous. As the family continues talking, Jack's suspicions grow. The son, Toby, rolls his eyes back in a disturbing way, then begins to foam at the mouth and convulse violently. The father, sweating and trying to ignore Toby's strange behavior, insists that everyone is fine, but soon the mother and father begin acting the same way. Suddenly, streams of dark, shadowy matter pour from their mouths and form into a monstrous being. Jack watches in horror as the room transforms back to its real state, old and ruined, while the shadowy figure grows larger. The monster attacks Jack, pinning him down with dark tentacles. Jack finds himself in a strange alternate reality where only he, the monster, and the bound family members exist. The family members appear tied down, symbolizing how the monster has captured their minds and taken over their bodies. Summoning all his strength, Jack mentally wills his sword to levitate and cuts through the bonds holding him. A fierce battle ensues, and Jack eventually overcomes the monster, freeing the family's spirits. The scene shifts back to the ruined house, and Jack awakens, exhausted from the ordeal. He tells the girl that he saw her family's spirits, but couldn't save them. Just as he prepares to leave, they hear her father's voice calling out to her. Jack turns back to see the family, now alive and safe, embracing each other. Satisfied that the family is truly freed from the dark force, Jack leaves them to their joyful reunion and continues on his journey. This experience leaves a lasting impression on him, a haunting memory of the horrors and mysteries he encounters along his path. And finally, the saddest episode of Samurai Jack has to be episode 92, in Samurai Jack. Season 5, episode X1, the story begins 50 years after Jack's original quest to defeat Aku. Jack, though unaffected by time and still youthful, is haunted by visions of his family and people he couldn't save. The weight of his failures and the endless battle has taken a toll on him, causing feelings of despair and hopelessness. The episode opens with a family fleeing from a deadly swarm of Aku's beetle drones. These drones close in on a mother and her children as they run through a deserted landscape. Just when they think all hope is lost, Jack arrives, heavily armored and riding a powerful motorcycle fitted with weapons. The young girl barely recognizes him, but it is indeed Samurai Jack. Jack uses his weapons and skills to destroy the beetles, saving the family from danger. After ensuring their safety, he leaves, moving on with his quest. The story cuts to a chilling monologue from Jack. He reflects on the 50 years that have passed, his unaging state, and how he still hasn't found a way to return to the past to defeat Aku. This mission, once so hopeful, now seems like an endless struggle. Jack's words reflect his growing hopelessness as he feels Aku's influence has corrupted every part of time. Meanwhile, at a secret shrine devoted to Aku, a high priestess performs a ritual. This cult of women, dedicated to Aku, raises 7 daughters specifically to kill Jack. The priestess drills it into the daughters that Jack is an evil force, threatening everything good that Aku has created. The daughters, each disciplined and fiercely trained, grow up believing that Jack must be destroyed. As Jack rides through a desert landscape, he spots smoke in the distance. Curious, he follows it into a forest. There, he drinks water from a stream but is soon overcome by haunting visions. He sees his parents, his family, and tortured souls from his past. They accuse him of abandoning them and failing his mission, leaving them to suffer under Aku. As these visions taunt him, Jack becomes overwhelmed with guilt. Then he spots a shadowy warrior on a horse, an eerie, ghostly figure with a spear, shrouded in green mist. Terrified by this apparition, Jack flees the area, racing away on his motorbike. Back at the shrine, the high priestess puts her daughters through grueling physical training. Each daughter must complete harsh obstacle courses and face a brutal acolyte. This intense training makes them fearless and nearly unstoppable. Yet one of the daughters, Ashi, becomes momentarily distracted, glimpsing the beauty of the world outside. Her mother reprimands her, insisting that Jack is the real threat to their peace and that he seeks to destroy everything good that Aku has created. Ashi reluctantly agrees, putting her doubts aside as she continues her training. Later, Jack camps alone in the forest, cooking a rat by his campfire. The quiet moment is interrupted when he experiences another hallucination. This time, he sees his father, shackled and in flames, condemning him for abandoning his purpose. The shadowy rider from earlier appears again, staring at him menacingly. Shaken and frightened, Jack runs away as his surroundings burn around him, haunted by his memories and guilt. Jack eventually reaches the source of the smoke he saw earlier, a destroyed city filled with rubble and the bodies of its citizens. Here, he meets Scaramouche, a charismatic yet deadly robot assassin who claims to be Aku's favorite killer. Scaramouche mocks Jack for his unrecognizable appearance, particularly pointing out Jack's lack of a sword. A flashback shows Jack's weapon falling into an abyss, a heartbreaking reminder of how much he has lost. Scaramouche, believing Jack to be no threat without his sword, calls Aku to report his findings. But before he can complete the call, Jack throws a kunai, destroying the phone. Satisfied with the situation, Scaramouche attacks Jack by summoning a magical golem from the city's rubble. Jack struggles to fight back, realizing that every time he destroys part of the golem, Scaramouche reanimates it. As Jack battles, he's plagued by another hallucination. This time, the rocks around him appear as children from the ruined city, begging him for help. Jack, distraught, pleads with them to understand, which amuses Scaramouche, who thinks Jack has lost his mind. Eventually, Jack destroys Scaramouche's flute, cutting off the magic that powers the golem. But Scaramouche reveals that his magic also comes from his voice. He begins scatting, making his sword fly toward Jack. Jack dodges the sword, but is nearly overwhelmed when Scaramouche reveals a new weapon. A tuning fork sword that vibrates at a frequency capable of shattering any blade. As they fight, Scaramouche gloats, confident of his victory. But Jack, thinking quickly, throws his remaining sword at Scaramouche. The weapon explodes, damaging Scaramouche's voice, rendering him unable to continue the fight. Admitting defeat, Scaramouche is ultimately split in half by Jack, who takes Scaramouche's tuning fork sword as his own before departing. At the same time, the 7 daughters of Aku complete their training. Now adults, they are given ceremonial masks by the High Priestess, who orders them to hunt down Jack and kill him. The episode closes with an ominous feeling, as Jack faces the threats of both his inner demons and these new foes. This episode sets a dark tone, showcasing Jack's inner struggles and hinting at the brutal battles yet to come. Thanks for watching. Samurai Jack really took us through some of the most emotional moments. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, make sure to hit that subscribe button to keep up with more episodes that tug at the heart. And let me know in the comments, what's the saddest Samurai Jack moment for you? Don't forget to check out my breakdown of the Teen Titans Saddest episodes next. See you there!